All right, this update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. The Aztecs are back in action tonight as they take on St. Catherine. 7 p.m. tip-off at Viejas Arena. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jaden Ledee is expected to return tonight after his shoulder injury. And the Aztecs football team late last night got 4-star recruit cornerback Jason Mitchell to commit to San Diego State, just the 8th 4-star commit ever for the Aztecs in their program history. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour one of Jon and Jim. We're leading you up to San Diego State basketball tonight. Pre-game coverage inside Viejas Arena will begin at 6, which means, Jim, I'm going to leave after the 5 p.m. segment, by the way. FYI, because I can't be in two places at one time, believe it or not, John fact. Mark Ziegler will join us at 4:30.
You really tried, though.
I haven't tried. Mark Ziegler will join us at 4:30. We'll catch up on San Diego State back on the floor for the first time in 10 days. Jeff Smith, president of Mesa Foundation, will swing by at 5:10. We have great giveaways for you here today. Pairs of tickets to see, well, we don't have San Diego State St. Catherine today because the game's tonight, right? But we do have pairs of tickets to see the Holiday Bowl. Louisville and USC will give those away coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. By the way, if you're listening to us right now on the radio, we always remind you can listen on the free iHeartRadio app as well. You can take us anywhere you go, whether you're by radio or not, on the free iHeartRadio app. Why are you saying that?
I'm just...
Listen on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app.
It's just funny because if you're watching on YouTube right now,
well, you can watch there, but also at the same time, listen on the iHeartRadio app and turn on your radio.
Right. Yeah.
Do all of the things at one
There's
time.
a million ways to watch us and listen to us and consume this content. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, you're probably wondering to yourself, what happened to John Schaefer?
Oh, wait, what did happen?
I don't know. There we go. Yeah. It's all right.
What's happening there?
I don't know, dude.
Okay, that's
fine.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
I don't think director is going to be in your future.
Probably not.
John, with technology and cameras, and I mean,
it just moved again, John.
It's everything is just a disaster when John has to deal with technology. I am shocked that he actually got his. You know what, dude?
It's not on there. Jim's helping me. This is really good radio, dude. This is unbelievable.
This is a joke.
Here's where I want to start the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jon and Jim.
Yuki Matsui. Is he Shohei Ohtani? Maybe not. Is he Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Maybe not. But he is rumored to be heading to San Diego. Now, what he did do a year ago in Japan in the Nippon Professional Baseball League is save 39 games. He had a sub-2 ERA. He's only 28 years of age. And now we wait on two things. A, for it to become official. B, what are the terms? Actually, three things. And then C, what role does he serve? He was a closer a year ago, but I'll be honest with you, Jim, he doesn't scream closer. 5'8", 167 pounds.
Come on, man.
He doesn't 91 mile per hour.
Doesn't scream closer to you?
You know, from the left side, 91 to 94 from the left side. Now, he's had great numbers in Japan, but I'm waiting to see the terms of the deal. We're waiting for it to become official. And what role is he going to play for the Padres? But they've been so quiet. We talked about that in the open. The Padres have been so quiet here this offseason. Maybe that ends today with the signing potentially of Yuki Matsui.
Okay, 5'8", 165 pounds, dripping wet. He had 39 saves last year in the Nippon Professional Baseball League.
Nippon.
What did I say? Nippon?
There's a difference.
There's a big difference there. I don't know anything about him. Do you know anything about him?
Yes, because I've spent the last 6 hours. What do you mean you don't know anything about him? You've spent your entire day on social media consuming Yuki Matsui, like scouting reports and tape and tweeting out video, and you don't know anything about him. You know a lot about him.
He's a great splitter. He has a fastball around 91 to 93 miles per hour. He's viewed as a guy that isn't going to be a dominant pitcher, like overpowering stuff, but could be a platoon guy, right? Like really good against left-handed batters. They needed bullpen help, and they got it. I don't know how much they spent on this guy, but at the same time, it's another body, and it's another guy that could help this bullpen. It's not the sexiest move in the world. They got the
best closer in Japan. It's another body for the bullpen.
Do you think he's going to be like the next?
I don't.
Like Mariano Rivera.
This is why I said we're waiting on the terms of the deal. The terms will tell you what they think of him.
Correct.
Because if it's one of these deals where you're paying someone 11 or 12 or 13 per year, then you're looking at someone that they project to be their ninth inning guy. If it's someone that is getting paid 7, 8, 9 for 2 or 3 years, I think that's someone that they think could be impactful later in their bullpen eventually, but might be a middle reliever type, might be a 7th or 8th inning guy at times. But there's a difference, obviously, between closer money and non-closer money. He's been a closer in Japan. Now, Robert Suarez, I thought, got closer money for having not been a closer, but coming off the 2022 that he had. What'd they give him, Jim? 4 years, 48?
Yeah, high, like high, in the
11,
high 40s.
12 a year. It was a good investment.
It was from coming off of the year that he had in 2022. You immediately thought, like, okay, the plan was this guy's the closer in waiting, and he had a really bad year last year. Injuries, and then getting caught for sticky stuff, getting suspended there. He did not really have his overpowering stuff that he did in 2022. So that's concerning to me, because going into next season, if he's slated as your closer, not much confidence coming off the year that he had last year in 2023.
Well, okay, so they gave him 5 years, $46 million with opt-outs, but that's close to closer money. He was coming off that great year. They knew Hader could be out the door after 2023. I think they envisioned sliding him in to be closer. But to your point, ineffective at times, injured at times, and also suspended at times in 2023. Does Matsui have opportunities like Robert Suarez has, and you have a little bit of a committee in the ninth inning, or is it way too early to assume that a guy coming over from Japan that throws 91 to 94 from the left side would even assume closer duties for the Padres at any point in the next year plus?
If this guy came over and we heard about his stuff being like he's got a 98-mile-an-hour fastball with like crazy split, and it's viewed by scouts as like a elite top end type of fastball or whatever, then I would raise my eyebrows and go, maybe we can see here like if he can get an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But everything you read about him, you're kind of like not really overpowering. Doesn't know if he can be a closer in the big leagues. The World Baseball Classic, he didn't do that great. Again, like I said, it's not a bad thing. That's another body to put in that bullpen. Like when I say that, I'm not trying to say it meaning it's a bad thing.
But look at it this way. If they have 30 million, right? We've talked about this number, and that might be high.
Uh-huh.
If they have 30 million, what number are you comfortable with per year to give to this 1.58 lefty from Japan that's 28 that throws 92 miles per hour? Are you comfortable giving him 9 per year of your 30?
Maybe like 46 million a year.
No, seriously, you idiot.
I'm kidding.
Well, maybe you defer it all.
I defer everything.
It's a
you put
seven, how about this deal? 10 years,
$1 million,
$700 million, but 680 of it is deferred, and you pay him $2 million a year to give the Padres payroll flexibility. Have you heard of something like that? And do you think it's a good idea?
You put on Twitter today, like, give me your
guesses for
funny guesses. Give your guesses for his contract. Yeah,
ridiculous.
I immediately said 5 for 140. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. But you're right. That contract is going to tell you everything you know about how they view him.
Correct.
If it's like seriously, I would predict 3 years, 30 with like an opt out after 2.
Yes, I agree. I think it's something like, I hope it's less. I hope it's like 4 years, 20.
Yeah.
5 a year, 5.5. But the going rate's probably more than that. Guys had a lot of success in Japan. Yeah. He had other teams that were interested. So it's probably in the neighborhood of 9 or 10 a year.
Yeah. And they needed you know what? Thinking about this now,
Yeah.
like, you just lost Ray Kerr. Okay, you need a replacement for Ray Kerr.
so you're going to go find someone overseas and pay him 10 a year?
Maybe they view him as an upgrade.
I would think they would because they're going to be spending more on him.
Probably.
Than Ray Kerr, right?
Yeah. So you gave away Ray Kerr to get rid of Matt Carpenter. The Braves, I mean, it's a little scary. Like, hey, the Braves thought something of Ray Kerr to pay
they did.
that much money to get him.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So you're down another lefty in your bullpen.
Right.
And depending on how much you spend here, you got another lefty as well. So, and it's not official yet, but it seems like it will be. And it's funny that yesterday, everybody's freaking out. Oh my God, the Padres haven't signed anybody. Here you go, guys. They just signed a player potentially soon-ish.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I mean, and people have talked about before, like, is there a way to combat, the Dodgers with left-handed pitching? I mean, I don't think you're making a move because you're trying to combat Dodgers left-handed hitting.
No.
I mean,
this guy, they signed him just for Ohtani.
You play him 13 times in a season, and they've been 13 games better than you for the better part of the last decade in division. This has nothing to do, in my opinion, with the Dodgers. This should have everything to do with the Padres thinking they are upgrading. They're losing a real piece in Josh Hader. He might become the highest paid reliever in the history of the game.
Well, this guy's not Josh Hader.
I know, but they're losing a real piece, and you're not making, again, it's the same thing. You're going to lose Snell, and you're not replacing him with Snell. You're going to lose Hader, you're not replacing him with Hader, and so on and so forth, but you still need to replace.
We'll see what Matsui can do in the big leagues. Who knows? Maybe his stuff is better than what scouts say it is, and maybe he actually turns out to be a nasty left-hander out of that bullpen, or not. Like, but it's always difficult to translate, across seas to Major League Baseball. Some do it very well, very easily. Kodai Senga, I think he performed very well last year for the Mets. Translates very well. Ohtani. Yamamoto.
Would you say Ohtani has worked out?
Let me get back to you on that one. Yamamoto, we'll still have to see on that one. But
Japanese pitching, I think, has typically been major league ready before Japanese hitting.
Correct.
So now, again, he's not your typical. This is not a guy with a posting fee. He's been in Japan for 10 years playing professionally. He's 28.
Yeah.
He's not 21. He's not being posted.
Darvish, you got that connection here in San Diego.
One of the greats in the history of Japan.
Yep. Also, I think you could argue he's done a pretty damn good job in his Major League Baseball career.
Absolutely. He's been a great pitcher. There's no question about it. Yep.
It's just, to me, it's a move that potentially is all right, this guy's not going to cost a lot of money because he is he has not pitched in the majors yet. So we're going to take a chance on that because we can't go out and go get a major league guy because he's going to cost more money. So this is the route that we're going to go. We rely on our scouting, rely on our analytics, and rely on, hopefully Ruben Niebla to make this guy as effective as he possibly can be.
Okay, so in our chat on YouTube, and you can comment as well, 70470, you can start your message with team, or you can call us, by the way, on our brand new phone number, which is 877-767, the number 4760. That's 877-767-4760. There's an interesting comment here from James, a very loyal viewer, who says, I think Preller signed him to be our closer. I was excited until Jon and Jim started downplaying him and saying he wouldn't be a closer. Makes me seem like I don't know baseball. I'm not saying he's not a future closer in the major leagues because I have absolutely no idea. But it's hard for me to envision that this signing is about just plugging him into the ninth inning immediately. I think he could project eventually to be a ninth inning guy. I think he could platoon with Suarez or be part of a committee to eventually throw ninth innings. But it's hard for me to imagine, and maybe I'm off here, that a guy throwing 92, 93 from the left side, that's 5'8", 165, that's really unconventional for a major league closer, is all of a sudden on the mound for 60 innings, 69th innings next year for the Padres. That would really surprise me. Wouldn't it surprise you if this guy is on the mound in the ninth inning 60 times or 50 times for the Padres next year? That would shock me.
Really?
Shock.
In the ninth inning or just overall?
In the ninth inning.
Oh, in the ninth inning. Yeah,
overall, absolutely. I think he'll be a 60-inning guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's throwing 69th innings.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with that.
He might get 10.
Look, what was on the long list of needs that this team had? It was bullpen help. They essentially went out and they got bullpen help.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this guy will end up being, the replacement and just as good or as better as Nick Martinez or better than whoever else, Luis Garcia had a really bad year last year, but he was really good in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But you get my point is they needed bullpen help. And would you rather rely on a minor leaguer or a guy that's actually closed games professionally across seas and won't cost? I mean, we have to wait and see how much the contract is, but he's not going to break the bank, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, the question is right. Like someone put in the chat, like, are you replacing Tim Hill or are you replacing Josh Hader?
You're not replacing Josh Hader with this move.
That's exactly. Yeah. And I think the same thing. Now, if I see some crazy number, and I don't think it'll be a crazy number, because if it's a crazy number, they wouldn't have gone this route. So I don't think it's some 4-year, $60 million deal. That's an overpay and a reach. Yeah. But if it's a 4-year, $30 million deal, it's reasonable. And a guy that could eventually develop into being a major league setup man or closer.
What if it's like 5 for 50?
Well, that's very similar. Then that's very similar to like what you said, 3 for 30, depending on if there's opt-outs.
True.
I wouldn't want to tie up 50 guaranteed in any reliever.
No.
They just did with Robert Suarez. You're already saying to yourself after one of the 5 years, that's a lot of money.
And the track record with signing relievers with Preller,
Pomeranz,
not great.
Right.
Finding closers, I've given Preller credit on this, has been good. I don't know if they view him as a closer. That's what my thinking is. If they do view him as a closer, then I would think the contract would be pretty substantial.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't view him as a closer, which I don't think they do or will, then yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a big time hit. So we'll see whenever this happens, whenever this becomes official. But it looks like it is, and the Padres are now off the board, John. They will officially have made at least one free agent signing this winter. Everybody can calm down. Everybody can take a breath. AJ Preller has signed a player, reportedly. Potentially. So everyone can take a deep breath.
Yeah, potentially.
Everything's going to be okay.
I mean, people are going to freak out based on the terms of the deal potentially. Like Brent in the chat says, so we dealt Barlow for Santos because Barlow was going to make $9 million. Yes. And Santos can do the same thing for a quarter of the price. Now we're going to spend $9 million on a guy who's never thrown a pitch in the majors.
Well, who knows?
I don't know.
know.
Maybe it's $6 million.
We don't know.
And I mean, maybe it's 10.
Maybe it's a 2-year deal. Maybe it's I don't know. We have no idea what this deal looks like at all. So yeah.
But you got here's at the end of the day, this is what they're recognizing. You're not filling all roles internally. They have to spend some of this money. They need to do it wisely. If they have 30 to spend, it's not going to be all 30 on one player, clearly, with a signing like this. The question is, what can you spend to address needs? If you spend 7 or 8 here, what do you do with the other 22? And if you spend more than 7 or 8 here, and then you have less than 22 million, can you address all your other needs? It's about filling holes right now. It's not about finding the next Josh Hader or going out and signing Cody Bellinger. It's about filling holes reasonably. And I think a move like this potentially is going to indicate that. He's clearly going to be on the Major League roster. You've got a lot of guys that they've acquired this offseason that are going to be in the Major League roster. The deals for Soto, the players in the Soto deal, are going to be in the Major League roster, other than one of them who's going to start the year in the minor leagues. And then Matsui is clearly going to be on the Major League roster to start the year. So you got 4 or 5 newcomers to the Major League roster by the middle of December.
You lost Josh Hader, Tim Hill, Ray Kerr. All 3 are lefties. The only remaining lefties on this 40-man right now, John, Tom Cosgrove, Jay Groom.
Yeah, we haven't really seen him.
Alec Jacob, Adrian Morahone, and Sean Reynolds. So they need some lefty help. They need some lefty help. And this is the lefty that is going to come in and replace like a Ray Kerr or a Tim Hill. This is not the most sexy signing in the world, potentially, whenever it happens. Hopefully it does happen because we're talking about it.
Is this the move? Like, okay, when we saw this today on social media, is this the type of move you were expecting, or were you hoping for something maybe slightly more glamorous if you're a Padres fan?
Dude, we know. We've talked about this. We know that every move they make this season, as far as like signing of free agents go,
sexy.
It's not going to be sexy.
Yeah.
And I think people need to understand that and get past it.
But don't you like the sex appeal of a signing?
Well, of course I do, John. The last 4 years have been amazing. The last 5 years have been amazing.
You sell magazines with covers.
I know, but that can't continue because every time they do it, it more than likely doesn't work out. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Hosmer didn't work out. Yeah. Bogarts hasn't worked out as of right now.
Jury's out on some of these deals. There's no question about it. I mean, even the extension for Machado.
Yeah.
Even the 340 for Tatis. I mean, there's a lot to be proven here in the years ahead.
Yeah. Just Everybody wants the sexy signs. Cody Bellinger's still out there. We can go get him. No. All right. Stop.
Right.
Yamamoto. Why can't they get Stop.
Right.
No.
I agree.
Why not bring Blake Snell back?
Right.
No. Stop. We know the plan. I think people are still like sitting there wondering to themselves, we don't know the plan. We don't know the plan. It's right in front of your face.
I mean, he even said it to Jeff Sanders. Like, we're looking for values in January.
It's literally right in front of your face. And I don't know what to tell you if you don't see it. Cutting payroll, being under 200 million, not dumpster diving, but like finding value deals with not sexy names and using your farm system this year to help the big league roster.
Is that the hashtag?
That's the whole hashtag. Yeah.
Not necessarily hashtag not necessarily dumpster diving, not sexy deals and using your farm system. And then like a little emoji appears at the end.
It's the whole
emoji.
Yeah, you have to be a verified user to get that whole hashtag in the tweet.
Okay. What's your level of excitement, Padres fans? 70470, start it with team, or you can call us again, 877-767-4760. That's our new number. If you want to try it, 877-767-4760. What's your level of excitement if the Padres do pull off this free agent reliever from Japan who had 39 saves a year ago, a sub-2 ERA, the 5'8 left-hander Yuki Matsui? Again, the number to call if you want to weigh in, 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760, or text us, 70470. Start your message with team. More on that on the other side. Plus today, your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Holiday Bowl. Mark Ziegler will join us coming up at 4:30. Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, at 5:10. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, an update for San Diego State football fans with signing day less than a day away, plus your calls on Yuki Matsui, what that could mean for the Padres. The number to call if you want to weigh in, 877-767-4760. That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. We'll start with the Aztecs. They're back in action tonight at Viejas Arena versus St. Catherine. 7 p.m. tip-off. 6:30 is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jaden Ledee is expected to make his return tonight after his shoulder injury. And last night, the Aztecs got 4-star recruit cornerback Jason Mitchell to commit to San Diego State, just the 8th 4-star commit ever in the program's history. Of course, National Signing Day is tomorrow. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
All right, we'll get to the calls in a second. Are you excited about this signing for the Padres if it comes to fruition? The closer from Japan, Yuki Matsui, 877-767-4760, our new number, 877-767-4760. Before we get back to that for a moment, you just mentioned it in the update. Tomorrow's signing day. You mentioned the fact that they got a 4-star last night in Jason Mitchell.
The second.
Who is a cornerback, okay?
They're getting like a million cornerbacks.
Well, they're also going to run a 4-2-5, which means you need
a million
cornerbacks.
Yeah.
One of the big names left on the board in the West is a receiver by the name of Jordan Anderson, who all of a sudden is down to 2 schools, and San Diego State is one of them. San Diego State and Oregon State, and Jordan Anderson, which would be the second 4-star player in your class, if not third, because of a transfer quarterback in A.J. Duffy from Florida State. He's going to make his decision, Jim, tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens for Sean Lewis, who will be on with Darren Smith tomorrow at 12:30. So make sure to tune in for that, and we'll have coverage throughout the day tomorrow. But it feels like you land Jordan Anderson, and again, it's 1 out of 100, so to speak, on your team. But it just feels like they've already got a lot of momentum. You get another 4-star player in this class, and what more could you do in 2 or 3 weeks' time if you're Sean Lewis?
So I love to decipher social media posts by these kids to see where they're going or where they're leaning towards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Jordan Anderson's Twitter account right now,
Yes, of course you are.
and he tweeted out about a little under an hour ago a handshake emoji with a period after it.
You know what that means?
What does it mean?
I have no idea. But that was quote tweeting an article about him being down to San Diego State and Oregon State.
Yeah, quote tweeting an article about it says Newport Harbor wide receiver Jordan Anderson is one of the top uncommitted players out west, and after weekend official visits with Oregon State and San Diego State, is hoping to decide later this week. And he quote tweeted that with a handshake emoji.
Can I ask you this?
I just need to see a Sean Lewis tweet with like
Yeah, today's a good day with more emojis.
I need more sunglasses.
Let me ask you this real quick question. What's the difference now between Oregon State and San Diego State if Oregon State is in a league where 10 of the members have left?
Nothing.
It's like it feels like you're kind of on a little bit of an equal playing field where previously, okay, they were in the Power Five and they still might have higher revenues. And they had a nice year last year, but they lost their head coach to Michigan State. So, like,
that's a lot of coaches there.
Yeah,
and they lost DJ Ugalele.
That's not how you say it, but yes.
Sorry.
So, like, that's my point. It feels like San Diego State might be on a more level playing field than they've been before with a program like Oregon State.
Yeah, I would think so.
Not to say he ends up here. Who knows?
Who knows?
You know,
right? Who knows? Even if he did end up here, he'd be even good. But just the way that Sean Lewis has been recruiting so far, you see a pattern. It's a lot of DBs, lot of skill position guys, quarterbacks, edge rushers. Like you see a lot of that with this team, because every single one of his tweets is hashtag Aztec fast. He wants to play fast on both sides of the ball. That's when you play a defense like they're going to be moving towards. You're going to need a lot of DBs in your defensive scheme. So you want to be fast on defense. You want to be fast on offense. We talked to, O'Boyle yesterday, offensive line coach, talking about the skill position, what the skill set is you need for your offensive linemen. The guards are going to be pulling a lot. You need to be athletic. You need to run because it's going to be a fast-paced offense. A lot of RPOs, a lot of shotgun screens, pulls. Like it's going to be a lot of that. So you see a pattern, and I'm excited to see tomorrow. And spring practice and spring game is going to come up just right around the corner. It feels like, and I'm excited. It's new. It's something that Aztecs fans have been wanting for a while. I feel like something that they can clamor towards for, like, hey, offensive pieces we can be excited about. So we'll see how it happens, but it's gonna be fun tomorrow.
Signing day tomorrow. Be up early. I'm sure San Diego State will be very active on social media. And again, Sean Lewis will join the show tomorrow at 12:30. We expect to have JD Wicker with us here on Jon and Jim on Thursday. All right. So the story of the day outside of signing day being tomorrow is Yuki Matsui. It was reported earlier today the Padres are in on Matsui, closing in on a deal. Japanese closer, Rakuten. Am I saying that right?
Sure.
Where he pitched 9 saves, sub-2 ERA, 28 years of age. And, you look at the numbers, say, wow, look at what they're adding. And then you look at some of the other stuff on the periphery, and he throws 92. He's left-handed. He's 5'8". He's 165 pounds. So, we'll see what the deal looks like. And we've been talking about it. Again, if you want to weigh in, 877-767-4760. Hopefully the first of many moves from A.J. Preller this offseason. We've been waiting for an addition. And this might be the first addition that the Padres make this offseason. I say that. They've had addition by subtraction. I mean, I wouldn't call trading Juan Soto an addition. They've added pieces to their Major League roster by trading Juan Soto. I'd like to see an actual addition potentially made by A.J. Preller, not just parting ways. Like, I don't see an addition getting rid of Hassan Kim to add 2 big leaguers. I don't really see an addition getting rid of Juan Soto to add 3 big leaguers. They're going to need to add pieces in free agency.
Yeah, you want to win this upcoming year.
No doubt.
Hassan Kim gives you a good chance to win. I understand the logic behind it, but at some point with the players you have on this roster, it's like, what are we doing here? What's the direction of the team? If you're trading away Hassan Kim just because his value is as high as it is right now, knowing that you're probably not going to sign him next offseason if he has another good year like he did last year with you. I understand the logic part of it all. But it still should be about winning next year with the players you have. Manny's not getting younger. Xander's not getting younger. Musgrove and Darvish, they're not getting younger. Like you need to at some point say, all right, we can shed the payroll. We can move pieces around. We might not have as good of a roster as we did in 2023, but we think some young guys can produce and perform at a low cost. We think that we can go out like we did last year with Lugo and Waka and get some, cheap guys that can perform and help out. And as long as our stars produce, then we feel okay about this team. And if we get to 85 wins, we'll roll the dice, because 85 wins historically the last couple of years gets you in the postseason.
Get your tickets now. All right. If you want to weigh in.
Yeah. Did I sell you, everybody?
877. That's another long hashtag.
Tickets?
That's another long hashtag. Get your cheap pieces. And if the stars
Cheap
produce,
pieces, baby,
they could win 84 games. 877-767-4760. Let's go to John on line 3. John, we appreciate you calling in. You're on with John and Jim.
What up, gentlemen? It's Cadillac John.
Hey,
John,
man. What's going on?
Love you guys.
Love you.
Hey, so guys, I'm thinking of this. How come, as a fan, I'm obligated to stay a fan regardless? What other relationship, when the one party feels mistreated, they have to stay involved? I mean, our divorce rate is 50%. So I'm giving the Padres this year. I have zero level of excitement. If they don't produce, I might become a Dodgers fan. I mean,
whoa, no, John, no.
I'm saying.
No, John,
that's not
no,
just because Jim has changed his allegiances from the Kings to the Warriors over the years, and from the Niners to the Eagles.
Chill out, bro.
Listen. It's a lifelong thing. It doesn't work like that. Some have it better than others, but no, dude. I mean, come on, you got to stay the course. How old are you, John? How old are you, Cadillac John?
44.
All right, so in those 44 years, the Padres haven't won a World Series, but then again, you could be 104 and they wouldn't have won a World Series. You're 44, you got time, is my point.
Yeah.
Dude. See it through.
It's okay, John. It's going to be okay.
Okay, yeah, again, this isn't a Kings-Warriors situation.
Never. When I rooted for the Kings, like I was, 9 years old?
And they were good back then.
Yeah, I know they were.
But then they got bad.
And then I was also a Warriors fan, but they also sucked. And I was 9 years old. Like, what do you want me to do? I watched the best team.
Who was your favorite King?
My favorite King, probably Mike Bibby.
Really?
At that time, I really liked Mike Bibby because he was just like.
So why do you hate Chris Webber?
I never said I hate Chris
Or
Webber.
like Mitch Richmond.
I know.
By the way, Chris Webber was drafted to the Warriors. So, I mean.
So what would you, if the Kings won an NBA title,
I wouldn't care.
you wouldn't buy T-shirts?
No.
You wouldn't
I've been
switch your
a
allegiances?
Warriors fan since probably
Mitch Richmond played for the Kings.
He did, right?
Yeah,
He's
and the Warriors.
I thought.
Oh, maybe, man,
Both.
you might be right.
Play for both.
I just confused the franchises. I think they're the same.
I've been a Warriors fan for like 17 years.
No, you haven't. If you were 9 plus 17 is 26.
18, 19, 20 years. 21 years.
No more than that.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I've been a Warriors fan for a long time. Chill out.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I could be a Dallas Cowboys fan for a long time if I switch right now. Because 20 years from now, I'd be a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Well, I feel like the older you get, the more it's easier. It's harder to switch any type of allegiance. With the older you get, it's harder. Younger, I can be amazed by like anything when I'm 8, 9, 10 years old.
Do people agree with that? 70470 started with team. Is it cool for an 8 or 9 year old to switch allegiances?
Yes, it is.
70470.
But when you're 44, like Cadillac John here, you can't switch. You got to ride this out. Yeah, it's about the pain, the misery. You got to go through it all to get to
more pain,
and more misery.
There's a lot of Cubs fans that lived and died without seeing the Cubs win.
Exactly,
because they went over 100 years.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side, the dumbest sports story of the year has finality and resolution. We'll share with you what that is on the other side. Plus, still ahead, Mark Ziegler from the UT on San Diego State basketball returning tonight. Also at 5:10, Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, will join the show. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we have resolution in the dumbest sports story of the year for 2023. We'll share that with you next. All right, dumbest story of the year, hands down. We'll share that with you in a moment. First, let's go back to the phones. We have a new phone number if you want to weigh in. It is, of course, 877.
Hold on. Let me.
What, you want to guess?
Yeah. 877-767-4760.
It's pretty easy. Yeah. 877-767-4760.
Yeah.
Kind of easy. All right, let's go back to the phones. Nick wants to weigh in on the Padres. Nick on line 5. You're on with Jon and Jim.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
So I like this Padres potential signing. What this guy brings to the table is a lot of attributes. Like this guy is so athletic. For him being, only 5'8", 165 pounds, people might look at that size of like, not really a baseball size, but like what he brings to the table as far as like his pitching. This is a guy who put up good numbers. He struck out 32.4 batters last year, and then 31.9 in striking rate. So this guy, he's very detailed. So I think this is if you want to, win right now, like especially with this pitching staff that they have, this is the guy that they need to go with.
Nick, we appreciate it. Maybe, maybe. It could be huge. I mean, he could be a big part of their bullpen in 2024 and beyond, or maybe not. And he could be pitching 9th innings in 2024 and beyond, or maybe not. I mean, he's 5'8", 165 pounds.
He had a 1.6 ERA, 11.3 strikeout rate per 9 innings this past season. He's the youngest player in the MPB history to reach 200 saves.
it's all great. You know what I mean?
I know.
Until you come here and you either have success or you don't.
Right.
Right.
I mean, his stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna be a scout, but it's not hard to say. Okay, they lost to the left-hander in a trade with Ray Kerr this past week. They needed to get more lefties in their bullpen. They found a guy that potentially, and we'll see what the contract looks like, isn't going to break the bank with the amount of money they have to spend. So yeah, this is like the replacement for Ray Kerr, and maybe he's better. Maybe they view him as a better, like an upgrade over Ray Kerr. I don't know, but we'll see. What?
It's just the way we're talking about
Ray
this today.
Kerr,
It's like,
it's
hey,
we're
if they add
starving
cheap
for
pieces and if they complement the stars appropriately, they can win 84 games. And maybe they view this guy as a
we're starving,
better
man.
version of Ray Kerr.
Yeah.
Hopefully even more than that.
We're like, just give us something.
All right. Has there been any story in sports this year that has gotten more airtime for no reason than the potential return of Aaron Rodgers from an Achilles? Let me answer on that. Nationally, the answer is no. Locally, the answer is probably yes. What's that?
I know
Only
what Brett's
one.
going to say.
Yeah.
Conference realignment.
No.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, though, that's the only
that's probably
that's
true.
gotten more.
So Aaron Rodgers confirmed today what we've already known, which is he's not coming back in 2023. This was Aaron Rodgers with Pat McAfee.
How do you feel? Where's your state of mind? And what are we thinking and talking about when it comes to playing football again?
Yeah, I mean, I've been progressing steadily. Once I was able to start jogging on the Ultra G at about between the 8th and 9th week, things have progressed pretty good. I came out here right before Thanksgiving, continued my rehab, and was able to get on the practice field in a limited fashion the last 3 weeks. Most of my stuff has been, like you've seen, kind of thrown on the side, individual work. This last week I took QB Center Exchange. I did some stuff with the running backs. I've been doing the 7-on-7 flight school, which is basically 2s and 3s, P squad guys that I've asked to do at the end of the day. So that's been fun to do that. Didn't do any 11-on-11 stuff. I think the whole time it's been, hoping that we're still in it because it was unrealistic to think that I would be 100%. To be medically cleared at any point during the regular season. I do feel like, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, it would be very possible to get to 100%, but obviously not there. And so the conversation was away from 100% medical clearance to a willingness to play. And that's never been a problem for me. If I was 100% today, I'd be definitely pushing to play. But fact is, I'm not. I've been working hard to get closer to that, but I'm still, 14 weeks tomorrow from my surgery, and being medically cleared as 100% healed is just not realistic at 14 weeks.
My eyes hurt, John. You know why? Because they've been rolling so far in the back of my head listening to him talk.
He was never coming back.
Never.
I don't care if they were 9-5, but the fact that they're 5-9, you didn't need to hear from him. Why would he ever come back to the Jets who are 5-9?
And let me answer this too. If the Jets were like 10-4,
he still wouldn't.
He still would not have come back because you're not going to all of a sudden replace a guy who's playing well for you.
Right. There's a reason you're 10-4.
Aaron Rodgers, who's hurt.
Yeah, it would have been fascinating if they made a run in the postseason and all of a sudden December became like February and he was like 20 weeks, 22 weeks. People would have talked about it. But to your point, if that was Zach Wilson and you were in the AFC title game, well, then you just stick with him because you're in the AFC title game.
I think that the New York situation with Aaron Rodgers and him bringing in his boy Hackett and bringing in his boys on the team who actually have been healthy scratches the last couple of weeks is going to just blow up in everybody's face there. It's going to just be an absolute disaster. Robert Saleh probably could lose his job. I don't know if he will, but if Rodgers wants Hackett to stay, I think Hackett will stay because Woody Johnson is a guy that's going to do whatever Aaron Rodgers wants. And that's going to be the worst thing for this team because Nathaniel Hackett sucks. So
it's
a
the
disaster.
Jet.
It's a
the Jet.
disaster.
Well, it's not. It's no worse than it was. It's the New York Jets.
Right.
No matter what happens, it's the New York Jets. And is like the all-time highlight of Rodgers in a Jets uniform going to be
Yes.
him coming onto the field before the opener with the American flag, and that's the extent of his time as a Jet.
Yeah.
All right, on the other side, we're going to get to the wrap. Still ahead in the 4 o'clock hour. Mark Ziegler will join us. We have tickets to give away to the Holiday Bowl coming up at the 4 o'clock hour as well. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs take on St. Catherine tonight at Viejas Arena, 7 p.m. tip-off, 6 p.m. pregame right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jaden Ledee is expected to return tonight after his shoulder injury. And Aztecs recruiting news for football. Last night, they had four-star recruit cornerback Jason Mitchell commit to San Diego State, just the 8th four-star commit ever in the program's history. Staples print big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Mark Ziegler covering Aztec Hoops will join us at 4:30. Now, we mentioned earlier, we actually mentioned yesterday, you don't know where I'm going here.
Oh,
we
boy.
mentioned yesterday that we have a new phone number. Now, we had a previous phone number for our previous station. 16 or 17 months later, we made the transition to the new number. We wanted to make sure people...
It was a very fast transition.
We wanted to make sure people had enough
Better
time.
late than never.
Right. So we made the transition. Now on YouTube, Jim has a graphic that has the phone number on the graphic. The phone number is completely inaccurate. It's the old number. Will it take Jim 16 or 17 months to update the graphic with the new phone number on YouTube or not?
It will take a significantly less amount of time for me to update it than it did for us to change it as a station.
Okay, so it could still be like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. Like it, the number still works. The old one.
Yes. Okay.
But maybe tomorrow I'll surprise you, John.
Maybe
during the break I'll surprise you.
National Signing Day.
Just like everything's happening. National Signing Day, recruits for San Diego State, 4-star recruits, and Jim changes the graphic on YouTube.
It's all possible. By the way, if you listen to Jon and Jim, make sure to do so as well on the iHeartRadio app. You can take it with you wherever you are. So if you're listening on the radio, if you're on the go, remember, you can listen to us for free anytime, anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app. Sean Lewis will join Darren Smith tomorrow at 12:30 on signing day. J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, expected to join us on Thursday. We have Aztec Hoops tonight, 7 p.m. against St. Catherine. First of 2 games in 3 days for the Aztecs, who play Stanford on Thursday at 6 p.m., which means a short show for Jim on Thursday, right? Because our pregame coverage begins at 5. Are you okay with that?
Let me think about that real quick. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
You're good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
And then you're gone next week?
I'm gone.
Where? Sacramento? Or Philly?
Yeah, I'm going to every Kings game next weekend. No, back east.
Back east.
To Philly.
The way you say that is like...
To actually Jersey, not Philly.
Jersey.
Jersey, yeah.
Taking maybe some Eagles Commanders or...
No, I will not take any. I'm actually going to New York for the first time.
Oh, this is it. You've never been to New York City.
I've never been to
As
New
a
York City.
state or city.
City. I've never been in New York City.
What are you expecting?
Chaos, a lot of crowds, annoying people.
Are you going to buy like all
So
the
pretty much
tourism
what it's
stuff?
like on TV.
Yeah.
Are you going to buy like a cup of coffee or like an I Love New York t-shirt?
No, I will
all that
not.
stuff?
No.
You're not going to be wearing like a Yankees Soto Yankees jersey like you did.
I'm
in
actually
Philly?
going there to see Juan Soto.
You're meeting with him.
Yeah, we're actually hanging out. We're having
No,
lunch
do you have
together.
any plans? Seriously, are there any plans in New York? A show, dinner?
Just complain about bagels. They love it when you do that.
I don't know exactly what we're doing, but I just know that one day they're gonna take me to New York City because I've never been there before. So they have it all planned out. Her mom, Aaron, they got it all planned out.
Okay. Any advice for Jim on his first trip to New York?
Don't fall.
You're gonna be like, do you think you need a passport?
No, I don't need a passport, John.
Yeah, you know what state it's in?
Yeah.
New York? You know
Yeah.
what state it's in?
Yeah, New York.
All right, let's get to this.
What's going on here? Dun 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 dun.
I know. I heard it on the way.
What
in
song is
today.
this? What song is this movie?
Pump the Jam.
Okay.
Pump
Like
it up.
600 movies. What do you guys expect to see from the Aztecs tonight against St. Catherine?
Total domination.
Is it me or does it seem like it should be St. Catherine's?
Right.
It's
no,
not,
it's
but
singular.
it seems like it should
St.
be.
Catherine.
What's the line on this game?
There is none.
Because it's so big.
Well, because it's
'Cause they're not a,
NAIA.
yeah,
Oh, that's
not a
right.
D1 school.
But if there was a line,
It'd be big.
what, 20,
It would be straight.
35?
28-35. It'd be big. They've played them twice, and the average margin of victory in the 2 prior games. Do you want to know what it is?
Please tell me like 42.
62.5 points.
Oh my gosh.
Now, 2020, they won by 42, which means the previous meeting, I think they won by 80 something.
You're going to see a lot of players on the bench play tonight.
Yeah, probably. But you're playing again in 2 days against Stanford.
No mercy. I want Jaden Ledee to play for like 42 minutes.
60 and 30.
Even though he can't play for 42 minutes.
Let them tie it up late so you
Yeah.
get additional minutes in overtime.
Yeah, exactly. Tied up late so you can play extra 2 minutes in overtime.
I want to see the bench. I want to see them stay healthy, and I
Are
want
you-
to see them shake off rust after not playing for 10 days.
Are you nervous at all?
If
like-
you want me to be truly honest, if you want me to be truly honest,
with me.
no. And that is really now
That's very
Now, hold on.
weird for him to
Now-
say that.
they're 9-2.
Okay.
St. Catherine.
Oh, here,
See, he already pumped him.
he already stopped.
He
He
psyched
already,
himself out already.
right. He went down a path and then he's like, no, I can't
They're
do that.
9-2 now. They lost to number. Hold on, listen to this for 1 second. They lost to number 301 in Ken Palm, Cal State Bakersfield, 77-44, and that's when I decided that San Diego State should be all right.
He's pretty much like, this is the final Are you sure you want to delete? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Are you sure you're not worried? Well, they are 9-2.
Actually, they're 9-2.
They lost tonight. Would it be the worst loss in the history of like,
Oh yeah, and
like
it's totally
college
John's
basketball?
fault.
It wouldn't be a good loss.
If they lost tonight, it's your fault, like Brent just said.
I
know
hate
that,
you both.
right?
Next
You know that,
question.
right?
I know.
Yeah.
Next question.
Is Aaron Rodgers still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
I'm not worried about the Aztecs game. They're going to lose because of you.
Don't say that. You
No, he's not a top 5 quarterback because guess what? You need to play the actual sport. To
don't
be considered
text
a
me
top
at the
5
under 16 media timeout when it's 5-4 or whatever.
I'm
like,
going to. I'm one dude. If they go up 2-0,
St. Catherine?
I am
Like,
I'm
what's
texting
happening?
you. I'm like,
This is
what
your fault.
This is all your fault, John. And you will be sweating, and you'll be like, what the hell?
Aaron Rodgers top 5.
He's not top
Healthy?
5. No, not when healthy. No.
Give me 5 that if Rodgers came back 100%, who are the 5 better?
Mahomes,
Purdy,
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Jalen Hurts.
No,
No,
did you watch?
maybe not after the last 3 games.
Brock Purdy, and give me another one. I said Mahomes, Allen, Lamar,
Herbert?
Brock. Healthy? Oh man, why am I blanking on his name? I'm such an idiot.
Mac Jones.
Joe Burrow.
Okay.
When
So,
hel- when
you're,
healthy.
so you're saying he's between 5 and 10?
Dak's in there as well.
Yeah. Herbert would be in there.
Jalen Hurts is up ahead of
Yeah.
him.
So he's top 10, 12. when
He's
healthy.
top 5 for quarterbacks that appear on the McAfee show on Tuesdays.
He's
Right.
top 1 for that.
The thing is this. He's older. He's coming off an Achilles, and he plays for the New York Jets. That's a bad combination to
He
be a
plays on
top
that
5
crap
quarterback.
turf.
Yeah, it's a bad combination.
Good luck.
Next question.
Guys, John Morant returns from his 25-game suspension tonight. Do you think he finally learned his lesson?
It's
Wasn't it
really
multiple suspensions.
It's really not hard to just like not go on Instagram Live
Flash guns.
and flash guns.
True.
Like it's very simple not to do that.
That was like his own account. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh, yeah,
even someone
yeah.
else's account.
It's also very easy to not be associated with those types of people either. You know, it's just very simple. Like,
Sure.
hey, are you hurting my career by hanging out with me? Yeah. Okay. We're not hanging out anymore. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I agree with that. But so he played college ball in Tennessee. He's been in Tennessee since getting drafted. I agree with what you're saying. I do. He's got so much money in the line, so much potential
He's one of the
influence
best
in the
players in
league.
the
He's
game
one-
when he's out there.
I know, but it's easier said than done, maybe, to get away from others when you've spent the last handful of years with the wrong group, potentially, of
You hope
individuals.
so. You hope.
I mean,
that he
they've been
figures it out.
terrible, right? They're terrible.
This year. They're terrible.
Yeah,
They're
they've only won, like,
terrible,
6
so-
games.
It's way too late, arguably. He's missed 25 games this year. And yeah, his chance to ever be one of those on every ad, top 5 player in the league. I don't know, man. You play in Memphis. You've had multiple suspensions. Your team isn't good right now. It's hard for me to envision that Jon Morant over the next decade is a top 3 to 5 player in the league in terms of visibility.
But he has that skill,
winning.
though.
He just has to be
He's a great
squeaky
player.
clean from here on out.
Yeah. Next question.
What move do you want to see the Padres make next?
An outfielder would be nice because you have 2 on your active roster. Jose Azocar on your 40-man, excuse me. Jose Azocar and Fernando Tatis Jr. Are you just going to have Fernando Tatis Jr. roaming the outfield by himself next year?
He'll play left center.
Left,
Yeah.
center, right.
Yeah.
You need to get outfield help badly. I would hate to see a situation where Jackson Merrill gets brought up to the big leagues and they stick him in the outfield.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think they have 2 needs, outfield and rotation, after Yuki Matsui to their bullpen. And I think both need to be addressed potentially via free agency or trade. They need more than one outfielder. They need more than one starter. So how do they approach that? I think they need 2 starters because they just got Michael King in this trade for Juan Soto, but I think they still need 2. And I think they need clearly at least 2 outfielders, at least one of which is starter caliber, if not 2, because Jose Azocar is not a starter in the big leagues.
No.
Let's be honest. So it's both outfielder and starting pitcher, and that's what they need. And it'll be interesting to see how much money they have after this Yuki Matsui deal, which presumably is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Maybe today.
And whatever outfielder they get, better be a left-handed bat because you got none of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just, you have Jake Cronenworth.
Yep.
And what else? Exactly.
In terms of starters, that's it right
Yeah,
now.
in terms of starters.
Yep. In terms of starters, that's it.
So to me, outfield is the number one concern right now.
Well, you got Tucupita Marcano.
Oh, great.
Big lefty bat.
Big lefty bat.
Brett Sullivan, your third catcher,
Oh, boy.
is left-handed. And to your point on pitching, I mean, you need left-handed help because you don't have a lot of left-handers
No.
in general there either. Yeah, it's unfinished, and that's putting it like very mildly.
Very mildly.
And even to your point yesterday, where it was like almost amazing that you had that much patience. We're sitting here waiting for anything to happen. Even today, you're waiting for this move to come down potentially to add to your bullpen. And you're like, man, you got a lot to do in a limited period of time. Of course, they're going to do it. It's just how are they going? Fill their bullpen potentially out of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. And then from there, how much money do they still have to play with?
Yeah.
That's the question. That's the question for me. Is this guy getting 10 a year or is he getting 5 a year? That's the question for me.
Yeah. And the reason why I wasn't fully freaking out yesterday when a lot of people were, because they made trades in 2021, that offseason after Christmas with Snell and Musgrove and Darvish. So there's time left. What I am more concerned about anything is the trend of the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trend of the offseason. There hasn't been any give me one major positive from the offseason because I can't think of one.
I was in the team store and they had a nice collection of different like t-shirts and merchandise.
They did?
So there's that.
Okay.
I like the merch.
Did you buy anything?
Outside, no, I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Because I don't know who's going to be on the team that's in the team store right now.
How many jerseys do you think Juan Soto they have left in there?
I think they moved him out.
Probably.
They moved him out. But no, you're right. I mean, from Peter Seidler's untimely passing to the trade of Juan Soto to the free agency, what's going to happen with Hader and Snell to the payroll coming down.
Yep.
Yeah, it hasn't been. And to what's happened around. It's like you don't want to look at what's happening around you, but the truth is everyone does. It's like you go on Instagram and you see these people that look better than you and you get jealous of all these people.
Oh, yeah. The Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani.
So when Ohtani goes to the Dodgers and when Yamamoto goes to the Giants, we'll see if he does or wherever
or Snell goes to the Giants.
Exactly. So you're comparing yourself to these other teams. And unfortunately, that hasn't gone well this offseason.
But it doesn't mean that there's still not time left.
Oh, it's not an issue of time. It's an issue of money.
Right. Yeah. And I'm worried about next season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about 2025, 2026. Those problems, they're going to come for sure. And there'll be massive problems. But I feel like it's like we should be focusing on the now because the now happens to be like 2024. Not 2025. It's not 2026. It's not 5 years down the road when these contracts are horrible and this team is a disaster mode as far as flexibility goes. It's about what they can do now to win. You know, that's why I was so like, you got to win now. So trading Juan Soto now, does that help you win in the moment? No, it doesn't. It might help you flexibility wise for 2-3 years down the road, and this year obviously too. But man, I'm so keen on every year that being the most important thing. That's how I was last season. That's how I was in 2022, 2021, 2020. I mean, every year that I've covered this team, it's about the now. Maybe not so back in the 2015, 16, because those teams sucked, and it was literally about 2 or 3 years down the road. But for the last, when they signed Machado, that was the changing of the guard of every year they got to win, or at least they have to build a team around trying to win that season. It's not about 3 years from now anymore. Once you sign Machado, that's out the window.
Yeah, but I really wonder if that is their motivation, truthfully or not, in 2024. And the reason I would say that is because when you trade a top 5 hitter in the midst of his prime, entering his prime, you have to question whether that does put you in a position where you can win now or not. I mean, that's now, again, do you set yourself up for years to come? Yeah, I think you do. Do you still have some pieces in place? Yes, you do. But you traded Juan Soto. Again, when the Nationals traded Juan Soto, we knew the state of their organization. They weren't in win now mode. So to be in win now mode and trade Juan Soto, they run incongruently.
Well, the Nationals didn't also have Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Joe Musgrove, Hassan Kim, Yu Darvish on that roster.
Yeah, but why would a team with the players you just mentioned on their roster?
Because because AJ Preller effed up all of these contracts to make it so they had no flexibility this upcoming season.
And which in turn does what? Take away your ability to win in 2024, correct?
But it's also a disservice to the players that I just mentioned on the roster to literally go out and then trade Hassan Kim and try to just free up as much money as possible and not make any signings or trades in the offseason to help improve your team.
They will do that. They will improve their team. The question is, to what end? Will they continue to move major league players? Will Jake Cronenworth move? Not the end of the world, clearly. Will Hassan Kim move? That you can't tell me is with an eye towards winning in 2024. So how much further are they willing to go and still say we can win and win big in 2024? Not that are they screaming that? They're saying, hey, we can be competitive. We can be competitive in payroll. We think we have a good team. We think we can win in 2024. But are you hearing from anyone like we're going to win the division? I mean, Mike Schultz said it. I don't know what he was thinking.
We're going to compute the Dodgers.
He also said, hey, I'm going to go see Juan Soto next week and Trent Grisham.
And Matt Carpenter.
And they were all gone.
Right. He was actually at Tatis's game yesterday in Winter Ball.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So he was hanging out with Tatis when he hit his 9,000-foot home run.
So maybe Schilt deserves credit for that. Maybe Tatis saw Schilt and boom, hit that big home run for Estrez.
He's like, I got to impress my new manager.
Right. So that Schilt's offseason is just, let me go find all the, let me look at the 40-man roster.
Who's on this team right now? And,
is he going over to Japan to meet with
Matsui?
I don't know. If he does, Matsui's going to end up in the Cardinals.
Yeah. It's like,
make sure this deal's official before you go to Japan.
Right.
This offseason. That's what I would say for Mike Schultz.
Exactly. So we'll see what they do. But until we get to day one of pitchers and catchers, I don't think at this moment in time it's right to like, what the hell are they doing? Eric Casenda, he's a cheap guy, and this team is just saving a bunch of money, and they fooled us, and blah, 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 blah.
Even day one of spring training, didn't they sign Walker last year after spring training started?
They did. He won like 16 games for them.
So, I mean, you can't even, if like, oh my gosh, what are they doing with their number 4 spot in the rotation? Well, give them a week. Maybe they'll figure it out. So that's how it can change quick. How about Sean Manaea? Now, it didn't work out, but when they made that trade, people were optimistic about it. That happened the final week of spring training.
It turned out fine for the first like half of the year. And then he decided he was going to be lazy. But
the point is, it was a significant move.
Not care anymore.
It was a significant move.
Right.
And they made it very late.
It was. So there's time. I think what people should be focusing on instead of like they haven't made a move is just the moves they have made and the trend of the team. And that's the concerning part is like, well, the trend of the team is no significant free agent signing, potentially no significant trade to add payroll, because why would you, I mean, if you just got rid of all this money to add more payroll, like what are you doing?
Right.
and you got rid of Juan Soto, and you ran your manager out of town, and you're not re-signing Snell or Hader, and you not improved your roster.
As Ryan puts in the chat on YouTube, Eric cut Spenda.
See, it's been no month.
It's Ryan. That was Ryan, not us. All right. On the other side, Mark Ziegler from the UT gets us ready for a busy week for the Aztecs on the hardwood tonight against St. Catherine, NAIA. Then Thursday, quick turnaround for Stanford. Critical Thursday for the Aztecs against Stanford as non-conference play will wrap up later this month in Spokane against Gonzaga. So we'll catch up with Mark Ziegler from the UT. Jeff Smith, Mesa Foundation. He will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Aztec basketball at 7 with pregame coverage at 6. Great giveaway for you today as well. We have tickets to the Holiday Bowl to give away. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer, and as you know, I've been telling you about Novo Brazil Brewing. We've got Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, hopping on next hour. Well, Novo Brazil Brewing is a proud supporter of the Mesa Foundation and San Diego State Aztecs men's basketball. Last month, I was down at their brewery. Lamont Butler was there, Jaden Ledee, other Aztecs as well. They were tasting different Nova kombucha flavors because a new co-branded product is coming out later this winter. We can ask Jeff Smith about that coming up next hour. They're also getting ready to open a fresh new spot in Mission Valley. They've got 4 fantastic locations of Novo Brazil Brewing, including one at Otay Ranch with massive LED screens. It's huge. The spot they're opening up in Mission Valley later this month, similar, 350-seat restaurant, full bar menu, 60 taps of Novo Brazil beer. They've got Nova kombucha. I love their kombucha. I've been picking some up over at Windmill Farms. They've got seltzers. They've got great food offerings, sandwiches, tacos, burgers, empanadas, appetizers, Brazilian-inspired entrees, and much, much more. So again, whatever you're looking for, whether it's the beer, whether it's the food, if it's the kombucha, they've got areas throughout San Diego County, Otay Ranch, another one coming to Mission Valley this month as well. For more information, you can visit novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs basketball returns tonight at Viejas Arena versus St. Catherine. 7 p.m. tip-off, 6 p.m. pregame right here on San Diego Sports 760. And Aztecs football late last night. 4-star recruit cornerback Jason Mitchell officially committed to San Diego State, just the 8th 4-star commit ever for the program. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more, 50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Offer ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, Jim just mentioned it. We've got San Diego State basketball tonight, the first of 2 games in 3 days for the Aztecs. The tune-up is against NAIA St. Catherine tonight at 7, pregame coverage at 6, and then Thursday, a really big one in the non-conference against Stanford at home as well. Mark Ziegler does a great job covering San Diego State men's basketball, among other things, for the Union Tribune. He's back with us here, Jon and Jim, on San Diego Sports 760. Mark, we truly do appreciate it. And tonight for the Aztecs, again, NAIA opponent, but we haven't seen the Aztecs in 10 days. So what are you most interested in seeing tonight at Viejas?
Well, I think it's the same story that's been all season, is seeing how the bench develops, because as they get into, the end of December at Gonzaga and bench. And one of the problems they've had is that the bench hasn't been healthy. Specifically Miles Bird, and Darren Trail too. They've been banged up pretty much all season in some way, shape, or form. And I really feel like they've turned the corner physically and been able to practice for a full week. So I think, those are the kind of guys I'm looking to see what they can do. As starters, we already know what they can do.
Yeah, how big was this week off here for this team physically, and maybe mentally too? Just getting out to a start where there's a lot of close games. They've had to come from behind a lot of these games and win at the buzzer. It's a good problem to have, but at the same time, you're getting everyone's best this year because of what you did last season.
Yeah, they really obviously escaped against UC Irvine, not having Jaden Ledee, and dodged a bullet there. And so getting him, having 10 days between games and 12 days between Division I games was a godsend, particularly with him. He got back to track pretty quick. He's been going hard all week. And so, from the physical standpoint, that was big. But I also think, like you mentioned, the mental standpoint, it takes a toll when you play that many close games. It's mentally draining when you got to come back from 14 down like you did at UCSD, 5 down with 44 seconds left like they did against UC Irvine, having to play 2 overtime games, Washington, Cal, and other games were close. The Fullerton game and the Long Beach State game were both close, for spurts and parts of those games as well. And so it just drains you. And I could just tell, the whole team was like, oh, if we just get to this break, we get to this break. And look, last year, they really used this break. They have a couple breaks. They have this one. And then after they play Stanford on Thursday, they're going to have another break of over a week before they play Gonzaga. And so I just think they were looking forward to this. And the other thing too to remember is they just hit a stretch. Finals are over where they can only focus on basketball. There's no worry about class for the next month or 6 weeks. And they've in the past really been able to use these times to kind of take that next step forward as a team. So I'll be interested to see what how things change. Might not see it tonight, but over the next couple of weeks, how much better they can get.
Mark Ziegler from the UT with us right now, and Jon and Jim. What I find interesting, Mark, about Thursday, how important it is to build a resume and what that means potentially come March. There's a huge discrepancy in the analytics on Stanford, where you look at the net, they're at 160. You look at KenPom, they're in the top 100 at number 95 or 96. How critical is Stanford? Because Gonzaga is always going to be Gonzaga. Win an amazing opportunity, lose, I don't think you're really hurting yourself. But Stanford's one of those games that when you kind of finish off the non-conference, it feels like the Aztecs need that game, doesn't it?
Yeah, in many ways, Stanford game. I know most fans won't look at it this way, but the Stanford game is way more important than the Gonzaga game. Like you said, if you lose, someone's got to lose, right? And if you lose and you're on the road at Gonzaga, it's not going to hurt them. It's not going to be a blip. In fact, if they play them close, it will probably help them in the metrics. But the Stanford game is can't lose. From a metric standpoint, if their resume is pretty solid right now, they don't really have a marquee win against a team that you'd say is in the tournament for sure right now. And so, but they don't have a loss to anybody that you would say, wow, that was a bad loss. I mean, their losses are both on the road, both the teams that are, top 40 type teams. And one of them, BYU was, I think they were number 1 or number 2 in the net for a short period. So those losses aren't going to kill you in terms of the metrics, but a loss to Stanford at home will hurt you, and kind of put you back on that bubble going into conference, and you don't want that.
Just how good is this conference? I mean, it feels like it could be a 5-bid league.
Yeah, I mean, every day you see something else, and you're like, wow, that's interesting. That's going to make it tough. I think as we were going along through November, you kind of looked at San Diego State, maybe New Mexico. They really haven't played anybody. I know they have a pretty record. They did last year as well, but they haven't played anybody except for a road game in St. Mary's, and they got punched pretty hard there and lost by double digits. But Colorado State, obviously, and I think New Mexico will be very, very good. And then you look at a team like Boise State that a lot of people thought, we're going to be up there, and they've taken some losses, but they played the hardest schedule in the Mountain West. And then Nevada. So there's 4 of the teams other than San Diego State. And then all of a sudden, Utah State and UNLV start looking pretty good. I mean, Utah State's had a very, very nice non-conference. Again, they're playing a lot of games at home in altitude against teams that have never been in altitude, and I kind of discount those. But they have good metrics. They have a good record. They're a new team, so it's going to be a difficult scout. And then UNLV, just blows out Creighton. Not quite a home game, but it's in the vicinity in Henderson, Nevada, and they're going to get a 2-time transfer back in Kalen Boone, who they thought they weren't going to have, and he's a very good player. So all of a sudden, you put those 2 teams in the mix, you're up to 7, and then you still have the landmines of an Air Force, San Jose State, Fresno State, those types of teams. And this league is going to be really, really hard again. But I think, when you look at it and you step back in the big picture, what do you want to have going into a conference season like that? You want to have experience in a lot of tight games. You want to have a team that knows how to win. And San Diego State has proven they know how to do that better than anybody, and played more close games and been in that situation more. So I think that will help them.
Yeah, that's very well said. I mean, it's amazing how many close games they've been in, and more remarkable is the fact that they've found ways to win essentially all of those games. Mark Ziegler is with us right now from the Union Tribune. Mark, any idea what next year looks like when they potentially go from 18 league games to 20, but you also now have the Oregon State and Washington State situation? You'd have to assume from OSU and Wazoo's perspective, they'd want to play basketball in the Mountain West, considering the success you just talked about. So are we looking at a schedule that is 20 league games plus games against Oregon State and Washington State, or maybe staying at 18, but you add in a game or 2 against those 2 teams?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's something that's going to be hashed out probably over the next few months and maybe into the spring, because they officially haven't voted on the 20-game conference schedule yet. That usually happens at the spring meetings in early May or late April. And basketball scheduling, like football scheduling, is done usually, 6 months to 8 months out from your season, sometimes as little as a month out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they're going to have to sort those things out. Oregon State and Washington State had a priority to get the football piece of the schedule done, because that was an emergency. I mean, that was really urgent. And so they prioritized that and they got it done. Now they're starting to look at basketball. And the one issue they're having is, if they put all their sports as affiliate members in the Mountain West, at what point did the NCAA look at them as they apply for their waiver to be a 2-team, quote unquote, Pac-2 for the next 2 years? Look at them and say, well, wait a minute, you're just in the Mountain West. Why are we giving you this waiver? And so I've heard that there's attorneys have kind of advised them, you might want to spread things out, and you might not want to put all your sports in the same league. And so that might be a deterrent to sticking basketball and football in the Mountain West. And I've heard that they've considered, at least, from a preliminary standpoint, they've looked at the WCC, which makes a lot of sense because you've got Portland and Gonzaga, which are 2 schools in the WCC, don't have travel partners and are very close to Oregon State and Washington State. And so there is some logistical advantages to that. But I don't know. I mean, that's something that, 22 games from your conference mandated. I mean, that's a lot. And I don't see that happening.
I agree with you, Mark. Great perspective, insight, reporting. Enjoyed your piece on Miles Heide, on Reese Waters over the last week during this off week, so to speak, for the Aztecs. We'll see you out there at Viejas tonight. And thanks as always, Mark, for doing it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you guys.
All right, Mark Ziegler from the UT, San Diego State St. Catherine gym tonight at 7 p.m. Pregame coverage at 6. You need to call right now if you want a chance to win 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl next week, a week from tomorrow.
That is
correct.
Right?
Yeah, next Wednesday night.
The 27th.
Is the Holiday Bowl. We'll have it for you right here on San Diego Sports 760. You can go. 2 free tickets, Petco Park, SC, and Louisville. Great holiday gift. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. That's Trainwreck Radio. The number to call is new.
877-767-4760.
I like that. 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants. Trainwreck Radio. That's next. All right, Jared.
What up?
What up, man? Thank you for your super chat and your membership. Guys, please subscribe. Thank you for your supers. Great way to support our work. We get to them during our breaks on the radio. Jared says he's listening on the iHeartRadio app. How cool is that, Jim? You can tell me it's on the iHeartRadio app. That is free to do. And that is right to Georgia. That is trip, Jared. Keep up the good work, fellas. And Matsui is a stud. I've been interested in him and Imanaga all winter. Okay. No, he's had very good numbers. You cannot argue his numbers. Last 2 or 3 years, he's had outstanding numbers. So hopefully that translates. Hopefully the Padres finalize this deal. I want to see the terms of this deal. But thank you, Jared. Drive safe. For you guys out there, thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for listening on the iHeartRadio app. And we will be back in a moment. And thank you for the super chats. You can click the $ below the chat box.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate you, man. All right. If you want to play trivia for a chance to win 2 free tickets to next week's Holiday Bowl at Petco Park, you need to call right now. Here's the number 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl, the winner of today's trivia contest. The number to call right now. Pick up the phone and call this right now 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl next. Sometimes at the break, I forget we have a show because we're just like talking about random things and like looking at random posts, and then like I hear the music to come back.
Like, oh, a show.
Jeff Smith is the president of the Mesa Foundation. He's going to join us coming up at 5:10. Again, Aztec hoops tonight, 7 p.m. against St. Catherine. Pregame coverage will begin at 6. Padres apparently on the verge of their first offseason signing
Dude,
of
this
a major
was
leaguer.
reported what?
8 hours ago.
8 hours ago on
Yuki
the verge,
Matsui.
and nothing yet.
Is he en route?
It's a long flight.
I think he was already in the States, though. So I think he had met with the Cardinals, maybe.
This is
this week.
Mark Feinsand at 10:55 a.m. Left-handed reliever Yuki Matsui is close to signing a deal with the Padres.
This isn't a Scherzer Rosenthal situation, is it?
If it is,
To a lesser degree.
I mean, if it is,
the world keeps spinning.
yeah, it's going to be
This
okay.
isn't Scherzer on trade
This is
deadline
not like
day.
Does not like all of a sudden the
Future Hall
Padres
of
are close
Famer.
on Yamamoto. We're like, what?
Right. No, I agree with that. I do. All right, Jeff Smith will join us at 5:10. More on the potential Padres signing of Yuki Matsui coming up as well. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Bobby and Marte. Bobby, you called in first. You have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'm on Jim.
What?
Well, hold on. Whose choice is it, Brett?
It's Bobby's.
Bobby, who do you
Bobby.
want?
I'm taking Jim.
Okay,
Wow.
cool. Marte, you get John, all right?
All right.
All right. Brent, what is today's question of the day?
All right, like we were just talking about, the Padres have reportedly signed Japanese closer Yuki Matsui to a free agent deal. Today's question: can you name the 8 closers in baseball history with 400 or more career saves? So there's
Matsui's about to be the 9.
there's 8 pitchers in
Soon.
baseball history that have at least 400 or more saves. So name them. That's today's question.
All right.
Okay, so everyone relax for a second.
Hold on.
Wait,
No, you have to play by yourself. You can't have a
What is
whoever.
happening?
Hey, whoever you're asking, you can't ask them for help.
What's happening right now?
Am I ready to go first?
wait, hold on.
Marte, you can't ask whoever you're in the room.
Train wreck radio.
You can't ask them for
That's
help.
right.
Who's up first?
Who's first?
Marte.
Marte is up first.
All right.
Marte, what's your
And
first
you both
guess?
have lifelines if you need that.
Yeah, what's
Yes,
your first
and
guess?
don't use one that's in your room.
What's your first guess? And you do have your lifeline, which is John, if you want to
Okay.
use it.
400 saves. Here we go. This will be Mariano Rivera.
Mirando Rivera.
No, yeah.
What's his name?
Marte, what do you got? What's your guess again?
I said Mariano Rivera.
Okay,
There we go.
Mariano Rivera. Is he on the list? He is on the list. Okay.
Oh,
It's been a good start.
400 saves.
a lot of saves.
Yeah, 400.
Bobby, what's your
How about the old Detroit Tiger, Willie Hernandez?
screw
Willie
it.
Hernandez is on the list with 400. He is not. Okay. Who's up now?
Marte, you're up next. What do you got?
All right.
You do have a lifeline
I
if you want
got-
to use it.
One of our own, Trevor Hoofman.
Trevor
Hoofman. Is Trevor Hoofman on the list? Yes, he is.
Oh,
All right.
Huffy.
Bobby.
okay.
Enter soon, man.
I got this one. All right. How about the Goose?
The Goose Gossage. 400 saves. Ball game. Marte wins. What a train wreck
yeah.
radio it was. Please pot them down immediately. I have no clue who was talking. I
That
heard
was
20 voices.
That was the worst.
No.
Just let me finish. That was the worst train wreck radio of 2023 for us.
I agree with that.
By
Yes,
far.
I agree with that.
By far. Like
Wow.
Goose
nothing,
Gossage is 27.
nothing compares to that. They didn't listen to me. It was talking over me all the time. Trevor Hoofman and Mariano
And Miranda Rivera.
Miranda Rivera. The worst train wreck radio.
That's why we call it train
Of
wreck
the year.
radio. But
Like-
Marte has won. Who else is on
Oh
the
my
list other than Hoofman and Miranda?
That was 1 and 2, and then Lee Smith, Francisco Rodriguez, John Franco, Billy Wagner, Kenley Jansen, and Craig Kimbrell.
Okay. And soon to be Yuki Matsui, potentially with that
Trevor
400
Hoofman.
saves. Wow. All right, Marte, here's what you've won for
Oh
all
my
your work
gosh.
here today. You've won a pair of tickets to the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. This is Louisville and SC next Wednesday night, Petco Park, 5 p.m. You can hear it on San Diego Sports 760. You can watch it on Fox. Petco Park, downtown San Diego. 2 free tickets for Marte. More chances to win coming up throughout the course of the week here on Jon and Jim.
What just happened?
Well, again,
Maybe it was the new number.
was it the new number? Listen,
No.
there's something about live radio that makes something like that fun.
You call that fun?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe our listeners don't agree, but yeah, I think that was kind of fun. I think that was kind of fun. How many saves did you say Matsui had in Japan?
200 plus?
200 plus. So he's halfway.
Pretty much.
He's halfway. Now, he's not going to get credit for his 200 in Japan as he comes over. Plus, he might not even be the closer for the Padres. Plus, the Padres haven't even signed him. So there's still work. But Yuki Matsui reportedly coming to the Padres. We wait on that to be finalized. We wait to see the terms of that deal as well. We'll get back to that in the 5 o'clock hour. We're getting you ready for pregame coverage of San Diego State and St. Catherine. Tip off at 7. Our pregame coverage will be courtside at Viejas Arena beginning at 6 p.m. On the other side, Jeff Smith, he's the president of the Mesa Foundation. They're doing great work around San Diego State men's basketball. He will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour to talk about the Mesa Foundation as we get you ready for tonight. The latest on the Padres offseason, which may now include Yuki Matsui as well. It's hour 3 of Jon and Jim, and it's next. All right, we do have great news for homeowners to start the new year. Interest rates, they've plunged. Mortgage rates are back down from nosebleed highs. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. Right now, Loan Pronto can rescue you from that 7 or 8% rate you got stuck with and save you a ton of money. If you bought or refinanced your home with a rate over 7%, now's the time to refinance and save money, even if you did it within the last month. Interest rates on Loan Pronto's Equity Express loans, they've also come down. It's a great time to get some cash out of your home and get yourself on solid financial footing for the new year. They can get you the cash you need to wipe out those credit cards right now or get money to start that 2024 home improvement project. Bottom line is this: Loan Pronto has the most competitive rates, and they can help you take advantage of this sudden drop in rates. Get your financial house in order for 2024 by calling this number, 619-207-4336 to get started. That's 619-207-4336 or visit loanpronto.com. Again, the number to call, 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs basketball back in action tonight at Viejas Arena, 7 p.m. tip-off versus St. Catherine. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jaden Ledee is expected to return tonight after his shoulder injury. In Aztecs football news, late last night, 4-star cornerback recruit Jason Mitchell officially committed to San Diego State. Official signing day is tomorrow. Staples print big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more, 50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We are leading up to pregame coverage of San Diego State basketball tonight against St. Catherine at Viejas. Me and Fletch, courtside from Viejas. Pregame coverage will begin at 6.
Oh, must be nice.
Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, a collective centered around San Diego State basketball. He'll join us coming up in about 8 or 9 minutes. Now, I've put a poll question up on our YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube.
Should I put it on Twitter as well?
Is anyone going to get it? Yeah, post it. My poll question on YouTube that Jim's going to put on Twitter as well. Who was a better closer? Okay. Was it Miranda Rivera or was it Trevor Huffman? Miranda Rivera or Trevor, some people call him Huffman, other people call him Huffman.
That one year when Trevor Huffman had 46 saves? It was a great year for him.
Yeah.
And then Miranda Rivera.
But remember, Miranda blew the save in game 7 against the Diamondbacks.
That's a good point. Does that hurt his legacy? How does that affect LeBron's legacy?
Is that his name? LeBron?
No,
sure that's his name?
I'm just asking.
Or is it LeBron?
Miranda Rivera blowing game 7 against the D-backs.
Right.
How does that affect LeBron's legacy?
I don't know. Significantly.
Does LeBron even become like who he is today if Miranda Rivera closes out the D-backs in game 8 of the World Series?
Trainwreck Radio. We're going to keep it into 2024, right?
Why would we not?
I don't know. I think some people, I think enjoy Trainwreck Radio, but I'm not 100% certain. We've done it for 2 years straight, right?
They want people. I mean, do we get
more
phone lines light up every time we do it?
That's because we're giving things away.
Well, that's the point of it, John.
Like,
what are we going to do? Not to do a giveaway segment?
But I'm saying the reason the phone lines light up is like, yeah, we're giving away like Super Bowl tickets. I hope the phone lines light up. But hey, you want 2 free tickets to Super Bowl 65 in Vegas?
Call right now, 877-767-4760.
No, we don't have those. We do not have Super Bowl tickets.
We don't?
To give away right now. We do not.
But yeah, people call in because they want to play a game and win.
That's great. Thanks. Jim Facts. I want to take you behind the scenes for a second.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
I want to take you behind the scenes. So I have pregame coverage at 6 p.m. at Viejas Arena.
Yeah, leave right now.
The good news is door to door from here to Viejas, someone's calling right now for Super Bowl tickets. The good news is it's not far.
Hold on.
You want to bring them up?
No. I want to see if this person's really calling for Super Bowl tickets.
Me too. Brent, is this person calling for Super Bowl tickets? And if so,
they
please
really are.
Put them on the air.
Give me a thumbs up, Brent, if they are calling for Super Bowl tickets.
He can come on the air if he wants to.
Oh my gosh. Guys, we don't have. My bad. Sorry. There's always that one person out there that hears like blah 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 giveaway call right now.
Absolutely.
It's like subconsciously in their mind of like I hear call in. They just do it right now. They really
what happened, Brent?
He's really planning ahead because he wanted tickets for like Super Bowl 65. And I was like, we're only on like 57.
Because I said 65. When I was just randomly going through my soliloquy.
We have Super Bowl tickets.
Well, that's okay because we can just defer the tickets until we get to 65.
Let's see to prove Jim's point. Super Bowl tickets, 877-767-4760.
Super Bowl 90. We're deferring until
We're deferring.
30 years from now.
We don't have Super Bowl tickets. We're kidding. The last thing you'd want to do right now is call 877-767-4776.
For Super Bowl tickets for Super Bowl 73.
All right, Jeff Smith, Mesa Foundation, will join us coming up in about 5
What's
minutes.
happening right
Anyway,
now?
my point is Jim is going to have not a solo segment because Brent is here, but I'm really please pick up this phone. If someone, okay. What are you going to be talking about later this hour when I leave is my question.
It's a tease, John. You'll find out and listen for yourself.
That's not really a tease.
That's not a tease at all.
That's not really a
not
tease.
a tease at all.
We've basically spent the day talking about two things. San Diego State returning to the floor tonight. Also, signing day, which is tomorrow. Sean Lewis will join Darren Smith at 12:30 tomorrow, so be listening for that. We have JD Wicker.
I might talk about
Thursday.
the giant solar flare that potentially could affect Earth.
Well, you could do that during Jim's back page.
That too.
And then the other thing we've talked about is this contract that we thought was going to be officially official. People keep calling it.
He's like, did I win Super Bowl tickets?
Right.
No, you didn't. By the way, if we had Super Bowl tickets, we wouldn't just do a one-off like it.
We'd probably just use them.
Like, hey, who wants Super Bowl tickets? Just call our number.
in.
Just call it right now. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No tease.
No
nothing.
teases, no anything.
What's the update, Brent?
Guys, apparently his name is actually Mariano Rivera. That's what that call was for, to let us know that his name actually
Sure?
isn't Miranda Rivera.
What?
You sure?
Yeah, that he was positive.
Hold on.
What
Wait,
about Huffman?
Wait a second.
That must be accurate because he didn't correct us on
Wait
that.
a second here. Are you telling me that this whole time
Miranda Rivera.
this guy's name is Mariano Rivera?
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna have to change his bust and Cooperstown.
I'm literally shocked right now.
Here's my question. Will this Yuki Matsui thing be official tonight?
Yes, 6:05.
Yeah, it's 6:01 p.m. Is that what you're waiting on for the 5:30 segment when I leave, that
No.
Yuki Matsui thing to become official?
I'm really not.
Okay. I thought you might be.
No.
Okay, you're not.
No.
All right. Well, it should become official at some point. I'm waiting on the terms of the deal. Is it 10, 11, 12 a year? Is it 5, 6, 7 a year? That'll tell me if he's an 8th or 9th inning guy or a Tim Hill replacement.
I would think he's more of a Tim Hill, Ray Kerr replacement than, hey, we want you to fill the role of Josh Hader, who literally was the best closer in baseball last year.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree.
By the way, speaking of mentioning that, do you take any, I guess, in this whole like first team MLB stuff? Like, do you put any stock into that?
I don't like when we come out with things like in the 2020s as a 40-year-old, because it's like I've gone through a lot of life without first team all MLB. So it's hard for me to get behind something they didn't have for 40 years.
And by the way, the timing of every single baseball award is horrendous.
Is bad. Have we had the first team announcement? I mean, there's no second team.
Yes.
Let me guess from a Padres perspective. Don't even tell me. I have no clue.
Okay.
I'm assuming the way you said that with Hader is Hader's first team closer, all MLB. I'm going to assume Tatis, first team right fielder.
No.
Soto, first team left fielder.
No.
That would be it for first team. Hader and Snell, first team pitcher.
No.
Come on.
No, I'm just kidding. He's on the first team.
Okay, so Snell and Hader?
Yeah.
Are your first team.
This
This is across both leagues, Major League as opposed to AL.
So not only do they do a first team all MLB, they do also a second team all MLB.
I feel like that's new.
No, it's not.
They did. Well, this has only been going on for 2 years, right?
No, it's been going for longer than that.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
All MLB?
Yeah.
What was the first year?
20. It was the year that Kirby Yates won first. Was like the best closer in baseball. It's like 2019, I think. 2018, 2019.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been
What's
doing
your
it for a while.
point here?
My point is, I don't have a point. I'm just
Okay.
telling you. I don't even know how we got to that point or me talking about it.
Right. Maybe because we're talking about Hader.
And Matsui.
All MLB team following the 2019 season.
Yeah.
You are unbelievable.
Got it right. Boom.
Okay. But anyway, doesn't it feel a little bit like fake because it's only been around since 2019?
Also, when they announce it on a Saturday night during like an NFL game, it doesn't really
Right.
put much weight into these like announcements.
What's the value of it?
I'm sure it's like I would bet you that's in like incentives and contracts.
Yeah, maybe. Like first team all
Hey,
MLB.
you make first team all MLB. It's like $150,000.
Well, because in NBA deals, it's like if you finish like all NBA, it impacts like your next deal.
Well, it's actually smart what they do in the NBA is that you're right. If you're an all NBA first, second, or third teamer, then it literally affects your next contract and gives you like thresholds. So if you're a first team all NBA, you are automatically enabled, the right to get a max deal. If you're not a first teamer, then you don't have the opportunity to get a max deal like a Steph Curry or LeBron James.
Is that the future of what's happening here with these MLB deals?
No, because Major League Baseball is stupid, and the players union will never, ever agree to a salary cap, ever.
Correct.
So these first team MLBs and second team MLBs will literally mean nothing.
I do wonder, like in the future, do you see that on Cooperstown plaques? Like seriously, like Machado is a 6-time first team third baseman, as opposed to what you would have seen previously, a 6-time, I'm making an all-star, or 6-time first team, 6-time all-star. You don't think it's going to be like that?
I don't think it's.
Then what's the point? Is my point. There's no value, you tell me, in contracts. There's no value.
I don't know what the point is. You want to call Rob Manfred up? Get him on the phone?
Call him.
The Dodgers is.
All right. We'll get back to it at 5:30 when I'm on my way for Viejas Arena. Jeff Smith is with us right now. He's been very good to the show. The president of the Mesa Foundation. They're doing amazing work, a collective centered around San Diego State basketball, both on the men's and women's side. They've got a lot going on. Jeff, we appreciate you taking time. First of all, I want to start with some of these community events you've been doing, which you've been doing for the entirety, basically, of the collective. But what do you have going on tomorrow? San Diego State basketball players participating in a food drive tomorrow, right?
That's right. Hey guys, this is the second year that we've done something with the San Diego Food Bank. This time it's at a distribution site in Mira Mesa. It's focused in on senior food distribution, and you learn a lot of these things, and the numbers are candidly pretty staggering. It's something like 760,000 undernourished people living in San Diego, and of that, like 150,000 of those people are over the age of 60. And so, this is just another opportunity for Mesa. Tomorrow, the women's team participated in a food bank event about a month and a half ago. This is just all 17 members of the men's team, and it's a chance for us to do what we've been doing, which is be a part of the community. Be involved in organizations like the food bank that have such an amazing reach and impact throughout San Diego, and get a chance to work with the amazing volunteers that work there, and also get a chance to meet the people that are affected by the food bank on a positive way. So it's a good thing for our student athletes. We're always excited when we get to participate in these different community and charity events.
Jeff, heading into 2024 here, goals for the Mesa Foundation. What are some goals that you want to try to accomplish in the next coming up a year?
Yeah, for us guys, it's really we're really chugging along here with all of the community partnership stuff. And so for us, it's about moving forward and sustainability and communicating the message to San Diego Aztec basketball fans that things have changed. I've said this so many times when I've talked to both of you on the show and off the show. NCAA's changed things, and NIL is something that we all have to answer. What we're trying to do is to get folks in San Diego to understand that you just have to do a little bit. These aren't large dollar donations that we're looking for. We're looking for people to want to be a part of San Diego State basketball on a different level, to support, join through our membership opportunities. We're really focusing big time on events like the one that you guys were at the University Club for the ring ceremony. We've got a couple of them, really, really cool ones coming up on February 4th for Mesa members. We've got a bowling and gaming event for the players. We'll be bowling and video game opportunities with fans and members of Mesa Foundation. And then we've got an interactive practice on the 18th of February with, again, all Mesa members. It won't be just watch and practice. It'll be really interesting insight from all the coaches on the staff, and then opportunities to interact with the players like we did last year. So focus is bringing more people in, having more people hear that message, and getting more and more people to support.
You can join the Mesa Foundation, by the way, by visiting mesafountationsd.org. If you support San Diego State University, their athletics, men's and women's basketball, again, mesafountationsd.org, critically important name, image, and likeness as we move forward here into 2024. We have the president of the Mesa Foundation with us right now, Jeff Smith. All right, give me a hint, Jeff, because I was down there at Novo Brazil Brewing, when Lamont Butler and Jaden Ledee, you were there, others, doing a tasting for a new co-branded product that's coming out this winter that supports the Mesa Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that project that you're doing with Novo Brewing and what's it going to mean for the collective and what Aztec fans can expect heading into 2024 with that?
Yeah, really neat experience. And yeah, you were there. We had all of the members of the team that were 21 and over there and picking their own flavor. The secret is out, and it is a raspberry kombucha. Aztec kombucha with a K will be on shelves in stores. I believe sometime in January it'll be poured at all of the Nova Brewery locations, including the new location in Mission Valley, which opens. I think they're shooting to try to get that thing open by the end of the month. And really what it is a local business operator, Tiago, who you've had a chance to meet, who really embraced the way that Mesa was going at our version of NIL, community-based, all about family, bringing in people to support, bringing in people to become closer and to get to know the program on a deeper basis. And it's an amazing partnership. So we're excited about it. We have others like that some of which we can't announce just yet, but we do have a new one that we're moving into with Woodstock on a collab with Woodstock. Similar, we'll be putting out a Mesa pizza, as I understand it, and the details of that are to follow. But it's really exciting for us when we have such well-known players in the community, well-known businesses, well-known establishments like Nova and Woodstock and some of the others that I can't wait to announce that have decided that they want to help, that they love Aztec hoops, and then they want to do whatever they can to make sure that we're all doing our part to answer this NIL call.
Put me down for 500,000 cases of the kombucha just to get started.
Yeah, not kidding, actually. I know that.
Yeah, he's being
I'm not
dead
kidding.
serious.
I cannot wait. This is one of the highlights of my 2024, to be honest. Jeff Smith, president of the Mesa Foundation, with us right now. Jon and Jim. So we were texting back and forth, Jeff, over the last 24 hours. I didn't realize this. San Diego State's men's basketball team is going to be wearing different shooting shirts, right? That say, this is your team on it, warm-up shirts that they're going to wear before games during player introductions. Can you tell us about the "This is your team" mantra and how it relates to the Mesa Foundation?
Yeah, it'll be just before the actual intros. So in the pre-game, guys will be wearing them. And really, it's something that was developed through this focus that we have on and trying to get more and more people to understand that that's exactly what it is. This is your team, San Diego. If we want to continue to watch what had the pleasure of watching last year as an amazing, hopefully not an outlier, but all the years in past with Coach Fisher and Coach Dutcher and what they've brought to San Diego for us all to be a part of, we got to do something. And so we have to take ownership. And we can take ownership by going and buying a pizza pretty soon at Woodstock's, by the 500,000 cases of kombucha that are going to be at the Schaefer residence.
That's right.
There are an amazing number of ways. I think the one that people are going to enjoy the most is by becoming a member and being a part of Mesa. We try to make it as cost effective as possible to have people experience being around the players, being around the coaches, being around the entire Aztec basketball family. And we're really focusing on that, guys. I think that's the direction that things are headed, and that "this is your team" is really what we try to do to communicate to people that you got to own it. This is your team, in fact, and we want to make sure that we do our part.
You can become a Mesa member today at mesafountationsd.org, starting at just $20 per month to support San Diego State athletics and basketball. Mesa Foundation, an official NIL partner of San Diego State University. Jeff, we always appreciate your time. Best of luck at the food bank tomorrow. We appreciate you stopping by, and we'll do it again throughout the hoop season.
Thanks,
so
Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jeff Smith, again with the Mesa Foundation. Will you try some Aztec with a K raspberry kombucha.
1,000%.
Brent, he's already shaking his head no. And that's fine because Brent,
I don't like raspberries.
would you try an onion flavor?
No,
Why don't you like raspberries?
I just don't.
Would you try an Aaron Rodgers co-branded?
I wouldn't even want to think what that would taste
Okay,
like.
I agree.
I have so many jokes, but I'm not
All
going to say
right.
it.
On the other side, Jim and Brent
Great tease.
talking sports. Because you didn't tell me what you're going to talk about. I'm assuming it's Preller,
Oh, come on. It's not like he doesn't know.
Matsui.
I want you to tune in to find out yourself.
I'm going to tune in on the other side.
I know you will.
Aztec pregame, 6 p.m. I'm heading down to Viejas Arena. Jon and Jim without Jon next. Stay with us.
Oh, great.
Hey guys, it's Schaefer. I've been telling you for months about my friends over at Windmill Farms. This is your lunch spot in San Diego County throughout your work week. You got to get over there. If you're looking for an affordable place to pick up a quick lunch, Windmill Farms is your spot. 8 sandwiches free with a sandwich card. All their sandwiches are affordable. They use the freshest, highest quality ingredients. They've got an amazing selection, no matter what you want. Their deli is incredible, huge selection, as good of a deli as you're going to find with great pricing over at Windmill Farms. Trevor and his family, they've been in the grocery business in San Diego County for over 2 decades, supporting local businesses like Harris Ranch, Mr. G's Salsa, and others. And they've got you covered for your weekends as well, your holiday shopping needs, organic farm fresh produce and meats as you get ready for the holiday season. Amazing craft beer, kombucha, whatever you need. They have it at Windmill Farms. The deli I've told you about, which is award-winning. They're centrally located off Del Cerro Boulevard, right by San Diego State, right next to Montezuma Mesa. Family-owned, serving San Diegans for 20-plus years. Even if you don't work near Del Cerro or live near the college area, you can find Windmill Farms on Instacart, have your groceries delivered directly to your doorstep. There's nothing easier than that. You're supporting a local business. WindmillFarmsMarket.com, by the way, is where you want to check out each and every week because they've got weekly specials there at WindmillFarmsMarket.com. But as you get ready for the holidays, make sure to check them out and shop local. Shop at Windmill Farms.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs basketball tonight at Viejas Arena, 7 p.m. tip-off there. 6 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts. They take on St. Catherine. Good news, Jalen Ledee is expected to return tonight from his shoulder injury. And Aztecs recruiting news. Last night, 4-star recruit cornerback Jason Mitchell officially committed to San Diego State, just the 8th 4-star commit ever in the history of the program. Staples print big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase for 100 or more, 50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Ends to 10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples. Turn your mic on there, idiot. All right, so John is on his way to Viejas Arena, Aztecs basketball tonight, 7 p.m. Our pregame cover starts at 6 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. And tomorrow is a big day for the Aztecs football program. They already have a bunch of commits, 2 quarterbacks, a 4-star recruit, defensive back, wide receivers, tight ends from Colorado. But there's one player out there, Brent, that we talked about briefly on the show earlier today. Jordan Anderson, he's a 4-star recruit, wide receiver out of Inglewood, California. He previously committed to Oregon. Then he decommitted on December 8th.
Is it Oregon or Oregon State?
Oregon. And Oregon State and San Diego State were reported as the 2 teams that was on his finals list, like for tomorrow for National Signing Day. Well, there is a twist in the recruitment of 4-star recruit wide receiver Jordan Anderson. I'm very big on social media with all these kids, right? Like trying to find any clues I can to put together 2 and 2. Right? The Danny O'Neal stuff, I think we nailed that one. We nailed it because it was pretty obvious once Danny O'Neal, the quarterback from Indiana, put all this stuff on social media with the Aztecs, liking, posts and whatever, like he was going to commit to San Diego State. The AJ Duffy thing kind of came out of nowhere, but still. Jordan Anderson, moments ago on Instagram, all right, under a post from 4-star quarterback commit Jason Mitchell, fire emojis on Jason Mitchell's post about him committing to San Diego State. So he put 2 fire emojis on that post for Jason Mitchell's announcement that he's coming to San Diego State. I don't know about you, but that means he's coming too, right? You got to put 2 and 2 together here. Or am I just being like crazy psycho conspiracy theorist guy, Brent?
Yeah, you're slowly turning into Charlie looking for Pepe Silva on It's Always Sunny.
I'm like, come on, look, you put the fire
Come
emojis on
Carol.
Instagram. That means he's coming to San Diego State. I mean, you got to put 2 and 2 together here, right? I could be completely off, and I probably am. But I would say they have a good shot. I would say San Diego State would have a good shot. So tomorrow, it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun day if you're an Aztecs fan. Because this recruiting class that Coach Lewis has put together here, I mean, it's exciting. Like a lot of skill players, a lot of DBs.
That's what we need, though.
A couple high-ranking quarterbacks. Just the buzz around the program so far, in such a short period of time. Tomorrow's going to be fun, and especially if you're a college football fan too. The transfer portal has been absolutely insane.
John probably won't even sleep.
He probably won't, honestly. And I guarantee you that tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. or whenever, he's going to send me a tweet of a player committing to San Diego State. It's funny. Every time the player commits to San Diego State recently, like say it's just some random wide receiver, right? We're like, oh, this guy's Cooper Kupp. Like, oh, this guy's the next Justin Jefferson, right? It's just fun to put yourself in that position now. Because there's so much excitement around recruiting that there hasn't been around here since I've been covering San Diego State football.
Is anything going to get John as excited as raspberry kombucha?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If this wide receiver, Jordan Anderson, commits to San Diego State, I can guarantee you that will make him more excited than raspberry kombucha.
He was pretty excited.
John, I know you're listening. Text me, confirm or deny if Jordan Anderson, the 4-star wide receiver from Inglewood, California, who was previously committed to Oregon, commits to San Diego State tomorrow. Will that make you more excited than raspberry kombucha? I'm going to go out on a limb, and it's not really a long limb, and say 100% that will make him more excited. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. What I also know will make him excited is if the Padres make more moves. The Padres end up signing Matsui. Oh, he's texting me. Oh, wow, Brent, you're right. He said booch over everything.
Told you.
I'm disappointed in you, John, honestly. You chose kombucha over San Diego State recruiting. Wow. Anyway, the Padres, we're still waiting on this, by the way. And there's another interesting little twist here because Yu Darvish just moments ago tweeted out, and I don't know what to make of it. Let me pull it up here. All right. He was on Team Japan with Yuki Matsui, the closer from Japan. And 11 minutes ago, Brent, he tweeted out an article from Yahoo Japan, which I wonder if Yahoo Japan still has that article up of like John and how he said Shohei Ohtani was the most overrated player in the history of like baseball.
Probably. It's probably still getting hits.
I mean, it had thousands of comments. It was amazing. It's like John's worst nightmare come to life. But Yu Darvish tweeted out, "I'm worried and can't sleep." Crying face emoji. Hiroki Matsui transferred to Padres confirmed. I don't know what that means. And I can't read the article. But we're just kind of waiting now.
You can't just translate it?
I can't translate it. I don't know how to do that on my phone. I probably could translate it, but I'm just gonna.
I think if you highlight it, it'll give you the option.
Well, it's a pretty long article, and I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that Yuki Matsui will be a Padre. I think. Like, it's been almost 8 hours since we've heard anything about Yuki Matsui. We had one report from a Japan outlet report that the Padres were close to signing Matsui. And then Mark Feinsand reported that the Padres are close to signing Matsui. So now we're just waiting. We're just waiting for the Matsui signing. We're also waiting for Aztecs tomorrow, San Diego State signing day. And Larry wants to talk about San Diego State. Larry, how you doing today, man? What's up?
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, two things. These are kind of intertwined. The Aztecs, I love to see that they're getting recruits. SDSU should be a good recruiting school. How can you not recruit with our climate and facilities? And it's hard to get fired up about anything in the future sports-wise after what happened with the Padres last year, the bunch of underachieving prima donnas that cost us a shot at the playoffs because they were all into the back of their cards. That's all it was. So I'm I'm trying to remain calm and be stoked and optimistic, but man, it's tough to get fired up after how badly we got let down last year.
Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Larry. Appreciate it, man. I'm with you, dude. Like, I understand. I trust me. I understand the 2023 team, Brent. I mean, in Padres history is going to go down as, I mean, it already is. It's like the biggest disappointment in franchise history. And so many things branched off from the failures of 2023, I feel like. I mean, if they succeeded, if they went to the postseason, say they made a run to another NLCS, I don't think you're getting the same offseason as you have right now.
No, you're definitely not.
You know, and you know, I don't know the health, like the Peter Seidler thing, I think may have been unavoidable, but that's the most unfortunate thing. But I don't know if anything else, as far as them making no signings and cutting as much payroll as possible and trading Juan Soto, I don't know if that happens if they make a run in the postseason this past year. And so the failures of 2023, it's going to be felt for a long time around here. I feel like a long time, and shame on those players for how they performed last year. The just all the reports of them quitting and the egos and the money and the relationships between Melvin and Preller, like it's on everybody last year. And it's crazy because if they made the postseason, I mean, it's obviously just a hypothetical. I bet you things would be different. I really do. Instead, you have Larry, who, and I'm sure a lot of fans feel the same way, just they don't trust this team anymore. They don't trust it at all. They don't trust this team after what happened last season. They don't trust Preller. They just are. And after this offseason, they're just like, well, we're back to the same old, like, hey, that last 5 years was, I guess, fun from an excitement standpoint of the offseason. But I mean, 2 of the last 3 years have been crap. And that was their biggest spending. So now you're telling Preller, hey, you can't spend as much and you got to win now with less money, even though you didn't win with more money. So now you have to try to win with less money.
It would be different just because, for the whole 2 years or year and a half that he was here, they justified that, oh, well, the spending doesn't matter as long as we go deep into the playoffs. That's all that matters.
But they didn't even get close.
Well, I know that's my point, though. But if they would have, then I think they wouldn't have put as big of a deal because it would have been pretty much what they planned out to. Because they said, they're very vocal about they would be happy if they just made a deep playoff run while they had Soto. They didn't care, how many of them, but they would at least get one.
Yeah.
So well, I think that might change a little bit. Also on YouTube chat, Matthew Keene has deciphered the article for us.
Oh, perfect.
He said it pretty much just says that he has completed the physical, and if it comes out okay, he will join the Padres.
All right. So Matsui's a Padre.
As long as he passes his physical.
As long as physical. Yeah. Well, it's a signing. We've harped on this last couple of days about how the Padres have made 0 signings this offseason, and people were freaking out about it. And now they've spent $0. If this were February 1st and we were still saying 0 signings, $0 spent, then yeah, I would light this team up. I would blast this team, but not right now. And I'm not going to question. I'm not going to go full on like, what's the direction of the team? We know what the direction of the team is.
Well, and lots of players they're not going to sign yet because they're waiting for, the bigger chips to sign their deals so they know what they want to ask for.
Right.
So, even if the Padres wanted to go out and, they want to go and get another like starting pitcher, starting pitcher X is going to be like, well, I'm not doing anything until, Blake Snell signs because I want to see what the market is dictating. And so I'm just going to wait. I don't care if you guys want to sign me or not. You're just going to have to wait it out.
Yeah. And it's perfectly fine to have questions. Like everybody has questions about where this team is going, like who are they going to sign? Are they going to make any trades? How are they going to fill the outfield spots? How are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? It's perfectly fine. But to think that they haven't by not only their actions, but their words too. And a lot of times, it's hard to believe everything Preller says, but like they've shown you they're cutting as much payroll as possible. They've said it. We're looking for the bargain deals, right? So Matsui, nice little signing, depending on what he got. I hope it's not a big contract. I hope it's not like a 4-year, $50 million deal. That would make me worried. But if it's like a short deal, for maybe 10 or under 10 million a year, like that's fine. And they need left-handed pitching in that bullpen. Now the next question is, all right, what are they going to do in the outfield? And what are they going to do as far as left-handed bats go? Because right now they have Jake Cronenworth, and that is it. So we now wait for the signing to become official. And we also wait to see what else Preller does this offseason. All right, coming up next, the craziest subscription dollar amount that you will ever hear in your entire life. Just wait until you hear what this is for. That's coming up next. All right, coming up next, my back page. Stay with us. All right, pregame for the Aztecs coming up at the top of the hour. Ben Fletcher, John Schaefer, who has ditched the show to make it in time for the start of pregame here, 7 p.m. tip-off between St. Catherine. I just saw a tweet from Fletch at Viejas Arena, and it's pretty cool. It said, St. Catherine is on the court at Viejas Arena. They took photos outside the arena earlier. Now they just snapped a team photo at mid-court during shoot-around. Pretty cool opportunity to play against the national runner-up. Yeah, I mean, you're playing against a team that had players on it that were in the Final Four in the national championship game last year. You also are playing against a guy who, hit one of the most iconic shots in the history of the sport.
Might as well make the best of it now and have fun now because, let's be honest, the Aztecs should run them off the court tonight. So
they should, yes.
Go out there and get your pictures and, get all that out of the way. And because it's going to get ugly. At least it should be.
I mean, if I was on St. Catherine, I would be like, oh, this is a cool opportunity. I get to play in an arena that is known to be crazy. I don't think it's going to be crazy tonight, but still you're going to get a good crowd. And
anytime when you're like, a non D1 school, when you get to go play,
on the
road to a D1 program, it's, a big deal. Cause just, the facilities and everything is just
totally
leaps
different.
And bounds different. You go from practically playing in a, high school / community college to, facilities like Viejas or, if you go to Carolina or something like
Big
that,
time schools, yeah.
it makes sense to be in awe if you go to those schools. So
Yeah, no, a cool opportunity for them. Again, pregame here in about 10 minutes, and tip-off is at 7. Brent, let's get to it. All right, the NIL has gone too far. NIL has gone way too far here, Brent. Do you know who Livy Dunn is? She's the...
no.
You don't know who Livy Dunn is?
No.
She is like a viral sensation on TikTok and Instagram, and she has multiple
I'm not on any of those
Viore. She's probably either the number 1 or number 2.
What's her name? Livy what?
Livy Dunn. LIVVYDUNN, I think.
She a gymnast?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, I've never heard of her.
Anyway. So Livy Dunn is selling autographed LSU purple and black leotards that she wore. Dude, you are going to get some weird people buying those things.
I was going to say, we're starting to venture into weird OnlyFans territory here.
I don't even want to read this, but screw it, I will. The very first comment on this post was it washed or nah? I mean, dude, the NIL is a wild world out there, dude. Wild. And it's crazy too, because the price of these things, now they're already sold out. Like they're sold out the day that they went on sale. But they were only selling for $129.99. $130. Only?
That's a lot for a leotard.
I think with the star power of Livy Dunn and how well known she is, even though you don't know her, Brent, $130 for this. Some crazy person definitely bought like 20 of them. Guarantee it. So yeah, the NIL has gone way too far. We're selling leotards now, guys. What are we doing?
Just wait until she starts NILing her socks.
She can make a lot of money off that. I mean, I always see her all the time on these Viore commercials. All the time. Good for her. Good for her. All right. So the final touchdown ball of Tom Brady's 2021-2022 season, right?
Auction.
Went on auction. Now, he originally came back for the 2022 year. Sold for $518,000 originally. Brady then unretired 24 hours later, nullifying the sale. The no longer Brady's finally ball then sold November 2022 for $130,000. Today, the ball sold for $60,000. The value of that thing was crazy. And by the way, the last thing is I teased it. Tinder has launched a $499 a month subscription plan. The subscription plan will offer users direct messaging without matching, increased visibility, and the ability to be seen by the app's most sought-after profiles. $500 for a subscription plan for a dating app? Oh, no, thank you. Wouldn't even pay $2 for that. Good job, Tinder.
So you can send private messages to people that don't want you to send them in the first place.
Yeah, it's I spent
I'm sure they'll reply.
Yeah, I spent $500 to still remain alone. Anyway, thank you, Brent. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mark Ziegler and Jeff Smith. Thank you to all of you out there for watching and listening today. Aztecs basketball pregame coming up next. Fletch and John from Viejas Arena right here on San Diego Sports 760.